So one of the questions that comes to our mind is it the right time to start investing? So this has been the main question, right? So my experience in last 20 years, I can tell you two things. First, market goes up, market goes down, but market never remains down. It always goes up in the long term. That's the first thing. And second thing is, timing is not that important. Time in the market is important. That's what people say. But also timing is somewhat important. If you can really time the market, the return could be really, really excellent. And I'm going to be your host for this event today. My name is Neeraj Gogoi. And the topic for today is going to be, is market correction is the right time to start investing? And today with me, I have got two exciting guests, Mr. Lalit Kumar and Mr. Rushabh Desai. Both are young, both are energetic, both are intelligent and brightest minds. In fact, let me introduce one by one, and then I'll be asking some questions to them, and they will be guiding all of us as to what to do, how to approach this market in this juncture. So Lalit Kumar is a managing partner of LKR Advisors, a financial management consultancy firm based out of Chennai. He has over 15 years of experience in valuation of business and financial due diligence, special analytics related to fraud detection, as well as financial investments for companies. He has handled close to 300 plus valuation reports, as well as 50 plus DDs. He's an advisor to around 50 plus startups for their growth and act as a virtual CFO for many of them. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lalit Kumar. Lalit,
Thank you
welcome to
so
the show.
much. Thank you so much, Neeraj, for the wonderful intro.
Great, thank you. And let me introduce Rushabh as well. Rushabh is a founder of Rupee with Rushabh Investment Services and had a total work experience of more than 10 years plus in the financial service industry with the aim to make a quality financial planning and wealth management solution accessible to all. Rupee with Rushabh Investment Services advises clients on their finances and help them to invest across equity, debt, commodities, real estate, and offshore invest segments through regulated investment products as per the SEBI NMP guidelines. He is a regular speaker in TV channels like CNBC TV 18, CNBC Bazaar, ET Now, Bloomberg, Quint, Economic Times, ETMF, ET Wealth, Business Standard. He writes quite frequently in those publications. Money Control, Outlook Money, Morningstar, Main Fortune, and Cafe Mutual. So welcome, Rushabh. Welcome to the
Thank you so
show.
much, Neeraj, for this lovely introduction.
Thank you so much. So both of you, right? The time has been pretty interesting in a way. We have seen so many things happening all around the world. Uh, since till October 2021, things seem to be so good. Market was going in one direction, and suddenly we saw corrections. And I think this is the third fall that we have seen, October, and then we saw it in Feb, in Jan, and then this is in the month of April, right? So most of the questions that people have in their mind is how long this correction is going to continue? Is it the right time to start investing in the market? So that is the main context. And what do you think, guys? So I will ask both of you one by one. Lalit, you can come up first.
Sure.
Tell me, what is the market condition at this point of time? What do you think about the market?
I wish I knew how much the market is going to correct from here or how much further downside is left, Neeraj. But yeah, I mean, at the outset, that's how markets behave, right? And post every correction, you will always find reasons which are going to be there, right? We went all the way up from 14,000 to 18,500. We had reasons in terms of why we are going up. Then we have fallen down now to 16,000, and we have reasons coming up. You can name it geopolitical, inflation, crude, interest, local scenarios, which is there. But every single uptick and downtick, you will have reasons coming in across, right? So that is nothing new. That's how markets behave. But in my view, there are always, this time, there are two major reasons in which carries a very significant importance, right? First is the FII's outflows, which we are seeing, right? There's some
Right.
massive outflows, which is just, they are on a continuous selling spree. Hote ja raha hai. They are like India Chodo Andolan kind of stuff, right? And every single day coming across, punching 4,000, 5,000 crores of outflow orders and then going up. So this one thing, until unless you see some consolidation over here where the FIs take a breather and then, start consolidating a bit and then see some sort of buying, I don't foresee selling to stop anytime soon. Second, US markets themselves have corrected 40-50%. So there's a margin call pressure globally over there, right? So whenever you have, and it's almost near the COVID lows, which we have seen, right? So whatever money was made for last 4 years is completely poof, gone.
That's right.
So that being the case, the depth itself is missing in the market as such globally, right? So when you don't have global depth, which is going to be there, you have margin calls being triggering. When you have margin calls being triggered, you have FIAs who are going to pull across. They're one of their favorite hot emerging market like India, right? And they're going to put it across and take it out, right? So there's nothing new, nothing surprising. Every single cycle you will get to see this, and that's how markets behave.
Great. Yeah. Rushabh, what's your take?
So my take is very similar to Lalit's take, to be very honest with you. And everything is interconnected. I feel, whether it is the Ukraine and Russia war, whether it is inflation, whether it is rising rates by the Fed and the Reserve Bank. So everything is kind of interrelated. And market apna hi man se chalta hai, it is not in your control or my control. It works more on the sentimental factor. Of course, it does works on the earnings part as well. But if you would have just seen, like for example, China market le lo, there have been companies which are robust in terms of earnings, net revenues, etc. But because of all of this political pressure, which China is facing right now, and also a little bit of the slowdown and everything, there has been a price and valuation correction. But many of these companies are quite strong. They are still showing robust earnings. So as long as I tell this to my clients also, as long as the company is giving you good returns, I mean to say, like good earnings in terms of net revenue, I really don't see any issue why I shouldn't enter in a volatile market. If some if the fundamentals of the company are kind of like disrupted in some way or the other, then I would definitely think twice. But I don't see inflation coming down very soon. The geopolitical war is going to stay here. Commodity prices are going to be affected. Of course, we are seeing the inflation more on the supply side, but as economies are now opening up, we have started to see the inflation from the demand side as well. So all of the factors are going to play. Reserve Bank and the Fed are going to start, which they actually have started. So more aggressively they would increase the rate hikes this year. So this year is definitely going to be volatile. There is no doubt in it. But as Lalit said, we don't know the bottom. So if we see good earnings and reasonable valuations, investors can start investing slow and steady.
Great. In fact, I can see so many questions coming from the participants. They're so excited. They want to know so many things. But again, we'll come definitely one by one. Again, my next question is to Lalit. I know that you don't follow technicals.
Yep.
But again, if you look at the market technically, market is already below 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average. It's, decisively below that. So again, there is a difference between correction and a downtrend. Do you think what we have been seeing in since October, is it a kind of correction, or it's a really beginning of a downtrend, or it's a bear market? So what's your view on that?
I mean, okay, yeah, of course, I'm not a big fan of technicals. I do have great friends who are there who guide me up on the technical side of it. My good friend Suru had just put across a post today, right, saying that March 2020, you saw almost 80% of the stocks going down below 200 DMA, right? At this point of time today, we are almost sitting at same levels. 80% of the stocks are below 200 DMA, right? So if I have to give a correlation, my job is to correlate events and see, okay, if there's an opportunity for us to take benefit of and then make further investment, right? So obviously I'll be doing that simultaneously to see if there's any opportunity which comes up. Having said that, is this a correction or is this a start of a new reversal in terms of trend, right?
Yeah.
I have been a bull all throughout my career, right? So obviously, if you are asking a bull saying that, hey, what are you going to look like? He's going to say, hey, this is nothing. It's just a blip of an eye which you are seeing in terms of pretty decent correction which you are seeing, right? So, and every single correction, post single correction, you will see companies doubling, tripling in terms of their returns, right? As long as I'm concerned, I'm going to look more from an earnings perspective, or the companies in which we are investing, do they continue to provide the same earnings growth? Is there anything which has significantly changed? So as long as companies are coming up with their capex plans, as long as companies are deleverage कर रहे हैं, balance sheet से debt अगर निकाल रहे हैं, it's a matter of time. It's a swing which you will have an emotions roller coaster kind of stuff, right? So you will come on this side, and then you see positive news flows coming in. You'll go to the other side saying that okay, yeah, earnings बढ़िया आ रहा है, profit कम होना चाहिए था because of inflationary pressure, but नहीं हो रहा है. Then you have management who are doing capex, so hence additional capacity is going to come into the system, and all three factors is going to lead Nifty getting higher, right? So I mean, if I have to look from that perspective, we are pretty much, I would say, a correction in a bigger bull market at this point of time, which we are in, and we will continue to be.
Okay, great. In fact, see, we have been talking about India being in a very sweet spot. We have got a $5 trillion that goal in the Indian economy, become a $5 trillion economy. Now, again, when you see Indian market, you'll have to look at the global markets as well. US market, Rushabh, you have already spoken about the context of US market. So Fed hiking rates, geopolitical conditions not going to subside very soon. So taking into account all these things, how long we are going to take this pain? Again, I'm not exactly asking like, is it the right time to start buying, or market is going to bottom up, when the market is going to bottom up? But how do you think, how long the pain is going to be there? How much pain you think left in the market?
So at this point of time, this year for sure we are going to notice the pain. There is no
Okay.
doubt in it. But as I already said, market apna man ka hi moja hai, so like you never know when probably the geopolitical situation starts to subside, and all the sanctions gets lifted, the commodity prices, the oil starts. So it's a matter of time. I feel at least this year we are going to notice the pain, but probably from next year we might slowly see, because you can't hold on to such a heavy geopolitical crisis for a very long time, right?
Right.
So because you need a lot of money, lot of resources to function. So although I feel that this is not going to go sometime soon, but at least for this year we are going to witness the pain. But also I want to tell you one more thing. Say, like for example, if the company is earning well, I really don't see any issue why I should not invest at reasonable valuations. Now I'll just give you one example. Say like Netflix, the company is doing really good, content is good, earnings is good, everything is good. The way sentiment is played against the company is that's an unfortunate situation. This temporary, for example, all of this temporary users going out, and this is all going to be kind of in phases. Nothing is going to remain permanent. So focus on the broader picture, that is the earnings. Go in slow, don't like push in एक साथ सब कुछ मत करो. Don't go overboard. That is something. अपना जितना चादर रहता है उतना ही अपने पैर फैलाओ. Slow and steady definitely wins the race.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
true. That's
I
true.
think.
Probably, Neeraj, add to what Rushabh has mentioned, right? US markets में अगर आप देख रहे हो क्या हो रहा है, right? एक बढ़िया डेटा देता हूं आपको मैं. आप हर बार देखोगे कि फेड ने जब जब रेट हाइक साइकिल किया है, आप 83, 84 का ले लीजिए, 88, 89 का ले लीजिए, 93 to 95 ले लीजिए, 99 का ले लीजिए, 2004 to 2006 दे डेट, 2015 से 2018-19 तक 4 साल का साइकिल चला था, राइट? फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट ऑफ द साइकिल टू द एंड ऑफ द साइकिल जो फेड ने रेट हाइक किया था, उस टाइम अगर आप डाउ जोन्स, नैस्डैक, एस&पी का रिटर्न देखोगे ना, it's almost at an average of 20-25% return in the subsequent during the period, right? So it's not that Fed hike करने से rate करने से returns नहीं मिलने वाला. You have to go and take the data from the past and read the data and see what the data says, saying whenever there's a Fed hiking rates, what does index do? Index is giving me 20-25% return, and that might exactly be the case this time as well, where your hike cycle has just started. The returns, index has already collapsed 20-25-30%. Broader market is almost 40-50% correction, right? Hike cycle is just starting, so you might see 25-30% returns which is going to come across, right? And आपको ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि यूएस सिचुएशन में पहुंचा कैसे, राइट? इन्फ्लेशन अभी आई वाज जस्ट रीडिंग बिफोर वी गॉट इनटू द मीटिंग की इन्फ्लेशन यूएस का डेटा आया है, वहां पे 8.5 के बदले 8.3% is what it has come across, right? And interest rate is expected to go up because sustainably you are going to see March 2020 में $700 billion of asset purchases हुआ है. $80 billion every month on month was getting into the system, right? Every month on month. And now the tapering is happening. Tapering का मतलब यही होता है कि आप system से पैसा निकाल रहे हो, right? So they started with $15 billion, they went up to $30 billion. They have now said $47-48 billion, and September से $90 billion system से निकालने वाले हैं. So market वो factor in कर रहा है already. It's not that it is coming as a surprise or going to come as a surprise. Market हमेशा पहले ही factoring करेगा आपको. Market आके won't wait till September to factor in all of this. It is going to factor in as on today's date. And जैसे जैसे ये factor होगा, जैसे जैसे pain बढ़ेगा, और जब actual events आने लगेगा और जैसे जैसे actual events होगा, you'll see market going on the upside, right? So you will have to see data. Read the data and see उस data से आप क्या सीख रहे हो, पिछले 2-3 decades में क्या हुआ और आगे क्या होने वाला है.
Wonderful.
Actually, I'll just add one more thing over here. जब liquidity market से निकलता है, तो जो पैसा इक्विटी में पंप इन हो रहा है वो टिल सम एक्सटेंट स्टॉप हो जाता है. सो जब एडिशनल मनी गेट स्टॉप्ड पंपिंग इन द इक्विटी मार्केट, जो हम डर्टी मनी जो बोलते हैं, राइट? तो एक प्राइस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से एक स्टैग्नेशन आ जाता है एंड वहां से करेक्शन होता है. जब ये इंटरेस्ट रेट हाइक होता है, लिक्विडिटी निकलता है टू कर्ब द डिमांड साइड ऑफ द इन्फ्लेशन, राइट? यू आर एक्चुअली रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग डिमांड इन सम वे. जब डिमांड रिस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाता है ना, तो परचेसेस भी लिमिट आ जाते हैं. जब परचेसेस लिमिट आ जाता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली जो पैसा हमारे हाथ में है वो ऑटोमेटिकली कम होने लग जाता है. बट अगेन दिस इज ऑल इन द गुड स्पिरिट. ये सब सही डायरेक्शन में हो रहा है. दिस इज ऑल शॉर्ट टर्म, ये नी जर्क रिएक्शंस है एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. आप एज करेक्टली व्हाट ललित आल्सो सेड ना, आप देखो ये शॉर्ट टर्म है, बट आप 100 दिन हिस्टोरिकल डेटा आप उठाओ एंड जब फेड जब हाइक करता है उसका probably I think 100 days if my reading is correct, S&P 500 has always been positive. I haven't seen, like, probably there might be very rare instances where S&P 500 has been negative, but ये सब short term है volatility. This will go away eventually. There is nothing to worry as such.
Good. I think what from a very layman perspective, I have learned few things from this last few minutes of discussion. एक तो है कि yes, market has already probably discounted many of the rate hikes, and what Lalit says, even though rate hike cycle have started, but still it will give you kind of positive return. It gives the positive return, the past that I have said. And then Rushabh said one very important thing, कि जितना चादर है उसके हिसाब से पैर फैलाओ, right? Actually, pain, normal investor does not suffer much pain. Who suffers the pain? Who try to gamble on the market, right? Borrows money, take loans and somewhere, and then they start that this is what the bottom is, market और नीचे नहीं जा सकते हैं, चलो पूरा मार्केट में पैसा डाल दो, and उसके बाद मार्केट और नीचे चले जाते हैं. So वहाँ पे पेन बहुत ज्यादा होता है. एक आम नॉर्मल जो इन्वेस्टर जो SIP करते हैं, धीरे धीरे से चादर के हिसाब से पाव फैला के खरीदते रहता है, उनके लिए ज्यादा पेन नहीं है मेरे ख्याल से. करेक्शन इज गुड rather, what say, to buy
actually
good
volatility. I always say this, see, consider volatility as your best friend, right? वो आपको एक सही अपॉर्चुनिटी देने को आता है मार्केट में, क्योंकि वोलेटिलिटी नहीं रहेगा तो आप इक्विटी मार्केट में पैसा नहीं कमा सकते. देयर इज नो पॉइंट बाइंग एट हाई वैल्यूएशंस. आप 2000 के जब 7 में पीक हो गया था, राइट? आप पीक टू पीक भी लोगे ना ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 10 years 15 years आपको सिंगल डिजिट में ही मार्केट ने रिटर्न्स दिया है। सही टाइम ये रहता है कि जब वैल्यूएशन गिरता है, प्राइस गिरता है, तभी आप
Exactly.
इन्वेस्ट करो, तब भी आपको ट्रू बेनिफिट मिलता है। एंड वन मोर थिंग, यस आई अग्री ऑल्सो कि टाइम इन द मार्केट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, बट टाइमिंग भी जरूरी है। लोगों ये नहीं समझते देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन टाइमिंग इन द मार्केट एंड प्रिडिक्टिंग द मार्केट। प्रिडिक्टिंग इज प्रैक्टिकली इम्पॉसिबल। नो एक्सपर्ट, जो एक्सपर्ट करेगा तो उससे भागो, क्योंकि कोई इंडस्ट्री में ये नहीं कर पाया टू प्रिडिक्ट द मार्केट। बट जब टाइमिंग इज वेरी इजी, चलो कि वैल्यूएशन रीजनेबल हो गए,
बस
40-30%, 40% मार्केट अच्छा गिरा है, तो फिर क्यों नहीं इन्वेस्ट करें,
absolutely. One small thing have changed. In fact, in 2008, when the market have crashed, let me tell you, I read a small article, and we were very scared at that point of time. The way the market had fallen, we didn't have much of experience. Market was falling, and we are panicked. And one day, I read a small article in a Economic Times newspaper, and what they said is that they give a small data. The year of crash, whoever buys in the year of crash, in the subsequent year, how much of return they have got, the next to next, how much of return they have got. They have given a fantastic data sheet, and I really got so impressed. And 2009, in the month of March, the market again given that kind of a return. Now,
आई मीन जितना आसान ये बोलना होता है नीरज, उतना आसान होता नहीं है, राइट? अभी आप देख लीजिए, अभी भी सबको मालूम है, हमें मालूम है यहाँ पे कि बेस्ट टाइम है मार्केट में अभी अगर इन्वेस्ट करना है, राइट? बट वेरएस आपको डेली सुनने में मिलेगा कि हाँ 14,000 निफ्टी आ रहा है, 15,000 निफ्टी आ रहा है, और वेट कर सकते हो। और जब रिवर्स हो जाएगा, 17,000 चले जाएगा, देन यू विल बी लाइक हाँ नहीं, 16,000 was the best level to buy always. So
let the market come back
आसान
to
ये होता है
16,000
बोलना कि बेस्ट टाइम होता है, उस हिसाब से खरीद सकते हैं। बस आई थिंक ऋषभ इज वेरी राइट कि जब 20-30% का करेक्शन आ जाता है, राइट, सो दैट गिव्स यू अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी, आपको मिल जाता है कि हाँ यहाँ से क्या होगा करके। वन ऑफ दी आर राजेंद्र कुमार ने बोला है saying that this is the best time to invest and hold, right? So he is telling in the chat to all of us saying, I mean, from his experience, he has seen multiple times market been coming down, going up, and always people believe that this is best time to invest and hold. You should always probably stick on to what suits your style of investing, right? So that way, it, very easy to say on hindsight, but जब करना होता है तब करना पड़ता है।
Exactly. जब करना होता है तो करना पड़ता है।
इसमें
Ajay has said Nifty 14,000 soon, right? I mean, all this is just targets, which neither he knows or we, after spending 2 decades in markets, also don't know, right? हमारा काम है बस कंपनीज क्या हो रहा है, किस हिसाब से चल रहा है, whether everything is going on good. Promoters are working day night यार, they are not looking at Nifty कि हाँ मेरा भाव क्या चल रहा है, कंपनी उस हिसाब से मैं काम करूंगा, आज भाव गिर गया तो मैं कम काम करूंगा, कल भाव बढ़ गया तो ज्यादा काम करूंगा। वैसे कोई नहीं कर रहा है ना, वो अपना जो काम चल रहा है वो उस हिसाब से काम कर रहा है, राइट? सो थिंक लेवल्स इग्नोर कीजिए, आपकी कंपनीज जो इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है वो ट्रैक कीजिए एंड देन कंटिन्यू टू हैव दैट।
Actually, not just have ample of patience. Unfortunately, a lot of investors don't have the right patience in the equity market, इसलिए disappoint हो जाते हैं। अच्छे से patience रखो, market आपको कमा के ही देगा।
Very good. अच्छा, 2-3 questions आए हैं ऑडियंस से, let's take some questions also in between. एक है, should we remain in cash in a bear market? Now, I think you have already answered, you have already discussed, but again, to be precise, एक बार कह दीजिए, should we remain in cash in a bear market?
See, bear market, yeah, Rushabh, you go.
No, please, Lalit, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, bear market के अंदर अगर आप कैश में जाके बैठोगे तब बुल मार्केट में थोड़ी डालोगे, राइट? आपको डालना तो पैसा bear market के टाइम में पड़ेगा, and I don't know why people call this as a bear market kind of stuff, right? To me, even though technically you might say हाँ 20% ऊपर से गिर गया तो bear market का हो गया, right? आप larger picture देखोगे तो आपको लगेगा कि I mean we are just nothing. What we are at this point of time is nothing. आप रख सकते हो कैश, 5% 10% कैश in your portfolio is always good. It's always recommended कि हाँ 5-7-10% आप रख सकते हो। लेकिन अगर आप 50% कैश पे बैठे हो, 70% कैश पे बैठे हो, and then if you are not investing in stocks जो आप 1-2 महीने पहले इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते थे, लेकिन अभी वो जो 30% नीचे मिल रहा है, वो तब भी आप वेट करके देखोगे तो वो टाइमिंग हो गया। ऋषभ ने करेक्टली बोला, राइट? हम टाइम नहीं कर सकते मार्केट को, हम देख सकते हैं कि हाँ स्टॉक गिर गया है, फंडामेंटल्स एकदम सही है, चलो अभी ले लिया, ठीक है, बैठ गए, वो आप कर सकते हो, नहीं तो टाइमिंग नहीं होगा इसके अंदर।
बिल्कुल। एंड नेक्स्ट इज टू ऋषभ। ऋषभ, आपके लिए है एंड इट्स योर फेवरेट। सर, शुड वी होल्ड आवर SIPs, इक्विटी SIPs, और वी शुड गो फॉर लंप सम एज द मार्केट करेक्टिंग? यहाँ पे
पहली बात तो मैं ये क्लैरिफाई कर देता हूँ, वी आर एक्चुअली नॉट इन अ बेयर मार्केट।
Yeah.
बेयर मार्केट और करेक्शन में फर्क होता है। बेयर मार्केट वो होता है कि जो रिटर्न्स नहीं दे फॉर अ लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, 2 साल, 3 साल, 4 साल। ये हम लोग जो देख रहे इज अ करेक्शन, इज नॉट अ बेयर मार्केट एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। दूसरी चीज, जब भी बेयर मार्केट हो कि करेक्शन पीरियड हो, SIPs कंटिन्यू ही रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि SIP का मतलब ही यही है, एवरेजिंग, एवरेजिंग फ्रॉम ऑन द टॉप, एवरेजिंग ऑन द बॉटम, राइट? सो ऑन द कॉन्ट्ररी, अगर आपका कैपेसिटी है तो आप टॉप अप कर सकते हैं, इसमें लमसम ऐड कर सकते हैं ड्यूरिंग डाउनफॉल, क्योंकि यही टाइम है। मेरे को सेम चीज मेरे को सस्ते भाव में मिल रहा है और मुझे पता है कि आगे चल के वो कंपनी अच्छा कर रहा है और फंडामेंटल स्ट्रॉन्ग है, मेरे को कमा के ही देगा, तो मैं प्राइस डिस्काउंट में क्यों ना खरीदूं? So continue SIPs the way they are for all investors. Currently Nifty 50 का जो 10-year average, historical जो हम 10-year average जो price to earning बोलते हैं, it is currently somewhere around 21, and अभी जो इतने टाइम से जो मार्केट करेक्ट हो रहा है, it might have breached that 10-year long term average, but again वो ये निफ्टी 50 का है, ये इट इज नॉट ऑफ द ब्रॉडर मार्केट, सो इफ समवन इज डूइंग कुछ स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक कर रहा है तो कंपनी को ठीक से जान पड़ताल करके आप करो। अगर आप म्यूचुअल फंड रूट में कर रहे हो तो मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा थोड़ा आप इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, देयर इज नो हार्म इट, बट आई वुड स्टिल वेट फॉर आप 3 to 6 months रखे फॉर staggering investments lump sum. Don't put everything in one at this point of time, because as I said, we are going to see further pain ahead for this year at least. तो 3 to 6 months आप डिवाइड कर लो, 6 महीना आप ले लो, ये साल ले लो, डिवाइड कर लो आपका जो भी लम सम है और आप इन्वेस्ट करवा।
Okay, great. Now, the next question is from the point of view of a absolutely new investor, जो probably market में last year आया है और very recently आया है. He has not yet started investing, but thinking about investing, right? So the question in his mind is, historically, how much correction is a good correction to start investing? मतलब उन्होंने चालू नहीं किया है, SIP भी नहीं है उनका, ना लमसम है, but he is waiting in a sideline. So historically कितना करेक्शन एक बहुत सही करेक्शन होता है?
See, I mean, ये point to point ruling आपको देखना पड़ेगा नीरज, right? At any point of time, historically 15-20% अगर इंडेक्स लेवल पे आज आप 16,000 निफ्टी है, 16,000 निफ्टी आप बोल सकते हो, राइट? बट स्टॉक्स के जो भाव दिख रहे हैं, दैट्स ऑलमोस्ट एट 14,500, 15,000 निफ्टी, राइट? सो आप इंडेक्स पे नहीं बोल सकते कि हाँ इंडेक्स 16,000 पे है, टॉप से ओनली 10-12% करेक्ट हुआ है या 15% करेक्ट हुआ है, राइट? आप स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स को ले लीजिए ना, स्मॉल कैप इंडेक्स इन द लास्ट 1.5 months is already down 23-24%. It's not a small correction at all. It's not at all a small correction. You have broader market companies which have corrected 40-50% as well. आज मैंने मेरे ट्विटर हैंडल पे डाला भी था, I have analyzed a list of stocks which is more than 1,000 crores of market cap and which have corrected more than 40%. You won't believe there are almost 300 companies which have done, right? And उसमें बहुत से क्वालिटी कंपनीज भी है, ऐसे नहीं है कि उसके अंदर सब कचरा कंपनीज ही है, 40-50% गिर गया तो सब कचरा है। आपको स्टडी करना पड़ेगा, देखना पड़ेगा कि क्या है। Having said that, don't forget few 3-4 big triggers on the upside जो है, right? आप देख लीजिए, ई-वे बिल देख लीजिए, अप्रैल के ई-वे बिल is the highest all time high which we have seen. Monsoon is going to be normal. जो PMI के डेटा आ रहा है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का, दैट इज एट 56.5, 57 इन अप्रैल। 1,70,000 करोड़ जीएसटी का कलेक्शन हुआ है अप्रैल मंथ के अंदर, द हाईएस्ट और 1.3 से 1.7। सेस कलेक्शन जीएसटी के नीचे 10,000 करोड़ फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम। रुपी इज स्टिल अंडर आउट परफॉर्मिंग मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द अंडर परफॉर्मिंग। मलेशियन रिंगिट ले लीजिए, फिलीपींस पेसो ले लीजिए, हांगकांग डॉलर ले लीजिए, अभी भी रुपी आउट परफॉर्म कर रहा है, राइट? अबव ऑल आरबीआई हैज स्टार्टेड रिएक्टिंग एंड वेरी अग्रेसिवली। इट केम आउट विद आउट ऑफ ब्लू पॉलिसी, 40 बिप्स बढ़ा दिया है रेपो को, सीआरआर 50 बिप्स बढ़ा दिया, 90,000 करोड़ लिक्विडिटी सिस्टम से ले लिया। सो मल्टीपल फैक्टर्स यहाँ पे आपको पॉजिटिव ट्रिगर्स मिल गए हैं, राइट? and this gives a recipe for making right decision कि जो sectors beaten down हो चुके हैं and उस sectors के अंदर अगर गुड अमाउंट ऑफ विजिबिलिटी आपको दिख रहा है कि बिकॉज ऑफ करेक्शन हो रहा है, तो ऑलवेज यू शुड गो अहेड एंड प्लेस योर बेट्स ओवर देयर। एक पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर के अंदर आप 40-50% अलोकेट नहीं करने वाले हो। सिंगल स्टॉक के अंदर यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू अलोकेट मोर देन 20-25-30%। यू आर गोइंग टू स्टिक इट टू योर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन प्रिंसिपल्स एंड 10-12% एक स्टॉक के ऊपर अलोकेट कर रहे हो। दैट बीइंग द केस, जस्ट गो अहेड एंड इन्वेस्ट इट अक्रॉस ना। व्हेन यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इट फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 3-5 years, you can never time the market. So when you are investing it for that kind of period, or any point of time, is a good period to invest in if your valuation and margin of safety both are in its place.
Also, one more thing, जो रुपी में इतना जो लोग डर रहे हैं, RBI is acting very strongly. जो $642 billion of US dollars of reserve था, RBI has sold around $42-600 billion से नीचे है. So RBI is doing everything to curtail the volatility on the currency side. ऐसा बोला जा रहा है कि 78, अभी currently 77 point something चल रहा है, but 78 तलक they are trying to hold the rupee up to 78. So I mean, our economy, our government, RBI, everyone is doing everything possible. And as Lalit correctly said, GST collection इतना robust है. So domestically अब ये भी देख लो कि FIIs ने करीबन 2 लाख करोड़ रुपया सेल किया है, in the matter of 8 months. But at the same time, DIIs have pumped in money around 1.5 lakh crore. मतलब अब खुद का देश का कंजम्पशन कैपेसिटी देखो, खुद का देश का पावर देखो आप,
Exactly. अच्छा, एक क्वेश्चंस मिले हैं. This is slightly off the track, but again it's a pretty interesting question, I think. This question with respect to Japan. Japan's Nikkei 225 index gave 9% overall return in 30 years from 1991 to 2022. This question is from Rohit Sikka. But Japan's GDP grew at the rate of 40% in the same period, right? During 1991 to 2022. Why did that happen, and why it will not happen to Sensex? मतलब GDP तो grow हो रहा है, लेकिन that's a big bear market that Japan have seen probably after the big bull run that we had seen in 80s.
There are multiple reasons on this, Neeraj, right? If you're looking Japan and comparing India, completely two different market. One is a market which has, finished off, जहाँ पे population का age 55-60 plus है. We are having a democracy, the age of 25-30, like a very vibrant kind of stuff. They're already reached जहाँ negative interest rate चल रहा है, where you have no big thrust in terms of growth, right? मैं आपको एकदम मतलब साधारण सा एग्जांपल देता हूं. से टेक इंडस्ट्री लाइक डिफेंस, राइट? इट्स अ ह्यूज बिग गेम चेंजर इन इंडिया. आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा, से इंडिया हैज बीन अ सेकंड लार्जेस्ट इंपोर्टर इन डिफेंस, राइट? थर्ड लार्जेस्ट मिलिट्री स्पेंडर इन डिफेंस. Yet we account only 4% of the total world's military expenditure in defense, right? वहाँ जहाँ US आपको 40% expense कर रहा है, China 14-15% के आसपास कर रहा है, right? And defense में भी multiple things है. You have satellites, you have drones, you have shipyards. Shipyards आप ले लीजिए. आप 1991 देखिए shipyard और अभी 2020 में क्या हो रहा है, right? We were almost importing 70-80% of our import was happening from foreign acquisitions. Just 10-15% as indigenous, right, which was getting done in India. Today's date, that reversal is significant, where 70% plans are there to make in India. We are almost at 50-55%, 70% plans is there in India, right? Government bhi aggressively aa raha hai. Semiconductor industry is one. It's a 80,000 crore PLI scheme government ने दिया है करने के लिए, which is going to bring in investment for 1.4-1.5 lakh crore, right? This is not a small amount. You can't have Japan or someone coming in across and giving you such kind of investment figure, right? So we are way, there's no comparison at all. Someone can always say that Japan is 20-30-40 years ahead of India. I think if you are looking, वैसे तो कोई भी इंडिया के साथ में जो इंडिया के नीचे है ऊपर है, किसी से भी कंपेयर करके कर सकते हो. आई थिंक डोमेस्टिकली आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि हम कहाँ पे प्लेस्ड हैं, कौन से सेक्टर्स एंड इंडस्ट्रीज व्हिच वर नेवर इवन स्पोकन अबाउट, राइट? सेमीकंडक्टर इंडस्ट्री के बारे में कोई बात भी नहीं करता था. वी आर डूइंग ऑलमोस्ट $10 billion ऑफ इंपोर्ट सेमीकंडक्टर चिप्स कर रहे थे, राइट? अभी प्लान है कि वो $10 billion हम वर्ल्ड को एक्सपोर्ट करें. It's a big game which is getting played. आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि कौन सा इंडस्ट्री, कौन से डेटा आपको किस साइड में ले जा रहा है और इंडिया कहाँ पे मूव हो रहा है. फॉर मी दिस आर ऑल द बिगर मैक्रो ट्रेंड्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ कहाँ पे हम ग्रो हो रहे हैं, राइट. शॉर्ट टर्म आप देख सकते हो, पेन कैन ऑलवेज बी देयर. लॉन्ग टर्म वी आर प्रीटी मच सिक्योर्ड यार.
I think Rohit got his answers, and I think lots of other audience also they got that clarity now on this particular point. So now, see, we are talking about again market economy is going to recover, market is going to recover. So now, what are the key fundamental factors to look for to identify for the first sign of recovery? कब हम लोग को कह सकते हैं कि अभी मतलब market trend reversal हो जाएगा? What are the fundamental factors that people can look for? Of course, you said many of the factors are already so good, right? PMI data, you talk about GST collection says everything is so good. So what else that you will be looking for to say that yes, now even corporate?
आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा before of course Rushabh gives us inputs, right? आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि 2017 के बाद में इन्वेस्टर्स ने कंसोलिडेशन मार्केट फेस देखा ही नहीं है. They have seen only an upside, they have seen only a downside, but it's been a kind of a zigzag, right? जो लोग कंसोलिडेशन फेस देखेंगे उसमें half of them का पेशेंस चले जाएगा. You need to build patience and market brings you that patience. I have been there in the market, frustrating at days where market कुछ नहीं होता है. 6 महीने, 1 साल, 2 साल बैठे रहना पड़ता है, doing nothing, just read all the news, right? And that's how markets are going to be. तो फर्स्ट थिंग आपको ये देखना है कि मार्केट पहले क्या कंसोलिडेट हो रहा है, कहां पे कंसोलिडेट हो रहा है. देयर इज ऑलवेज अ बुल मार्केट इन रिस्पेक्टिव सेक्टर्स. कोई ना कोई सेक्टर आपका बुल मार्केट अलग से चले ही रहेगा. डिफेंस रह सकता है, एंटरटेनमेंट रह सकता है, स्पेशलिटी केमिकल्स, व्हाटएवर सेक्टर इट माइट, केमिकल्स माइट बी देयर. देयर इज ऑलवेज अ बुल मार्केट व्हिच इज गोइंग टू बी देयर. सो फर्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट टू मी इज कंसोलिडेशन. सेकंड, द ट्रिगर्स फॉर ग्रोथ. I have already pointed out to you what all the triggers. We are already seeing GST and everything which is there, right? So वो triggers अगर मिल रहा है तो if that triggers is clearly visible, then you should go ahead and further invest across.
So nothing much to worry. Only it's a correction probably, and we should keep investing, right?
So I think जैसे inflation control में आ जाएगा ना, oil $100 से नीचे आ जाएगा. See, oil was around $69-70 in November 2021 if I'm not wrong, right? And suddenly ये जो spike हुआ है, जो inflation बढ़ा है, ये जैसे एक inflation curtail हो जाएगा. Already IMF is projecting good GDP growth for India. I think India is amongst the top, one of the top, what do you say, forecasted in terms of growth. So, and as Lalit pointed out, all the figures in terms of GST and all that stuff, मेरे हिसाब से ये जैसा इन्फ्लेशन कर्टेल हो जाएगा ना, एंड ऑलरेडी वी आर सीइंग अर्निंग्स तो आ ही रहा है. ऐसा नहीं है कि कंपनी अर्निंग्स नहीं आ रहा है. सिंस पास्ट फ्यू क्वार्टर्स वी हैव बीन सीइंग डबल डिजिट ग्रोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ इन द स्टॉक मार्केट. सो ये सिर्फ प्राइस एंड वैल्यूएशन कंप्रेशन हो रहा है. ये एक बार रेट हाइक साइकिल भी थोड़ा पीक आउट हो जाएगा, इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल हो जाएगा, थोड़े बहुत जियोपॉलिटिकल जो टेंशन चल रहा है वो नॉर्मलाइज हो जाएंगे. आई थिंक एवरीथिंग इज गोइंग टू फॉल इन प्लेस.
Right, wonderful. Achha, so yes, so what's your earnings? You talked about earnings. Like, can you just give in a small brief? You said strong earnings हम लोग देख रहे हैं. Can you just give a small brief to our audience?
So currently, since past 3 quarters, we have been seeing double-digit earnings in the Nifty 50 index level पे. और currently आप देखो जो Q4 का जो रिजल्ट सबका नहीं आया है, बट as on 1st of May जो Q4 जो रिजल्ट्स आए, 17 companies out in the Nifty 50 are showing profit after tax of more than 20%. So these are clearly signs, that we are going in the right direction. हाँ, earnings also can be cyclical हो सकते हैं. अभी just because अभी Q4 में अच्छे results आए, that doesn't mean कि again FY 23 में same kind of results आए. But जो भी हम जो brokerage reports and whatever we are reading and seeing, again we are seeing a double-digit growth in FY 23 as well. I'm talking from a profit after tax point of view. So currently तो अभी सब सही लग रहा है, but again wait and watch is the right way to go ahead.
Right. अच्छा ऋषभ, अगर देखिए again when we start recovering, when the market will start bouncing, there's something called sector rotation model. All the sectors are not going to probably go in the same speed. As you said, in the bear market also, there are some sectors which are already in the bull run, right? So which sector do you think is the, will start moving at the first phase of the bounce back of the market? I'm not saying when the market will start recovering, which are the sectors that are going to, lead that bounce?
I mean, to be very honest with you, it's very difficult to predict. मैंने पहले भी कहा था, कि बहुत difficult हो जाता है prediction, whether you say it from a stock level or a sectorial level. आप अच्छे से diversified approach रखो. I think you are going to do well on a longer run. But from my view, it's it will be very wrong for me to say कि चलो ये sector करेगा, वो sector अच्छा करेगा. But if it doesn't land up doing well, investors and a lot of your viewers are definitely going to be disappointed. So I'm going to leave it with that way, that I would not like to predict. It's just wait and watch. Numbers को ध्यान से देखो, quarterly results ध्यान से देखो, and diversify your portfolio well. That's all I can say.
Lalit, your take?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of them have asked, is this the right time to invest? I think majority of the comments ने यही पूछा है कि ये right time है क्या invest के लिए. मैं again आपको डेटा देता हूँ. I love presenting data, right? अब एक सिंपल चीज ले लीजिए. FY22 का निफ्टी earnings EPS was 785. FY23 Nifty earnings will be 850, 855. FY24 Nifty earnings will be 1000. राइट 12% ग्रोथ मान के चल रहा हूं मैं. 12% में ज्यादा 13, 14, 15% पे नहीं चल रहा हूं. 12% ग्रोथ मान के चल रहा हूं. FY24 will be at 1000 EPS. We are presently at 16,000, which is nothing but 16 times price to earnings.
Right.
Our historical आप लोगे तो 20-21 times के आसपास आएगा. Historical आप ले लो. To me, for a country like India, or for the growth and earnings which we have, I would give a 25-27 earnings पे दूंगा मैं, पी दूंगा. हिस्टोरिकल मान के चलिए 20 to 22,000 निफ्टी इज गिवन, राइट? एंड दैट विल हैपन. FY24 बोल रहा हूं मैं, मार्च. सो व्हिच इज नथिंग. अगले जून के अंदर तो आपको 20-22,000 इज गिवन, बिकॉज़ 20 अब हिस्टोरिकल मीडियन पे जाओगे. आप 16 पी पे अभी बैठे हो, मार्केट फैक्टर इन करना चालू कर देगा. अंदर 6 मंथ्स यू विल हैव मार्च कमिंग अक्रॉस, राइट? 23 आपका FY23 खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर FY24 का मार्केट देखने लगेगा, राइट? So 16,000 निफ्टी अगर आप देख रहे हो, मार्केट ऑलरेडी पिट चुका है. Like I rightly said, 14-15,000 के भाव ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं. एंड अर्निंग्स अगर आपका स्ट्रांग है और नो नेगेटिव सरप्राइजेस इन अर्निंग्स, 20-22,000 निफ्टी इज गिवन. सो I'm giving my first answer outrightly to you guys, even though I'm not supposed to do it. I usually don't do it, but I see a lot of them वो एक बेचैनी है कि is this the right time to invest? I'm saying this on record. Yes, this is one of the best time to make your investment bet, right? So this I'm telling this on a Paytm event which is there. What do we see in terms of upside? आराम से मान के चलिए, अगर आप 3 से 5 years कर रहे हैं on a rolling year period के अंदर आ रहा है, तो anywhere expecting 18 to 22% is reasonably great for you guys. अगर आप चल रहा है, कर रहे हैं, करना चाहते हैं, इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, प्लीज गो अहेड, put it. If you are a new market में first time आ रहे हो, म्यूचुअल फंड्स के अंदर डालो. If you don't know anything on the market, please do it in terms of new. In case if you are experienced, you have some cash to put it across, please go ahead and deploy it. I have made it very blunt and very clear. I don't think I can make myself more clear than this, Neeraj.
I think that is what needed the most, the conviction, the confidence and conviction. People who have not seen the cycles in the market, bear market, then corrections, उनका पास probably उसका थोड़ा कमी है, conviction and confidence. And आपने जो confidence दिए हैं अभी, I think that's more than enough, कि go ahead and be confident. That's what the experienced people who have seen the market cycles, and they are basically, that is what their wisdom, their views, their understanding of the market.
Be confident, but don't be overconfident.
Yeah, don't be over optimist as well.
Absolutely. That's a very good. Be confident, but don't be overconfident. Overconfident means कहीं से पैसा बोरो करके.
हाँ, वो तो कभी होगा ही नहीं. वो उस पे बात ही नहीं करना है, क्योंकि वो किया मतलब यूज नहीं है.
कभी भी मत करना, ये तो करना ही नहीं है. लोन लेके पैसा, किसी से बोरो करके पैसा कभी भी नहीं डालना है. Okay, again, many people, what do you recommend? Again, Rushabh, direct equity or mutual fund route?
देखो मैं तो म्यूचुअल फंड वाला बंदा हूँ, सो आई एम डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू रिकमेंड म्यूचुअल फंड्स, बट अगेन अगर आपके पास एक्सपर्टीज है, यू नो व्हेन टू गेट इन एंड गेट आउट, आपको मार्केट का समझ है, कंपनी का समझ है, तो आप डायरेक्ट स्टॉक्स में भी कर सकते हैं. बट म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर यूजुअली सेफ. फंड मैनेजर मैनेज कर रहा है, ही मैनेजेस थाउजेंड्स ऑफ करोर्स एंड ही चर्न्स योर पोर्टफोलियो अग्रेसिवली. सो म्यूचुअल फंड्स भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आप डायरेक्ट म्यूचुअल फंड्स में भी कर सकते हैं अगर आप रेगुलर प्लान में नहीं जा सकते. I just want to add one more thing. What Lalit had to say, that he's optimistic. That's great, but I am cautiously optimistic at this point of time. मैंने पहले भी कहा था, slow and steady wins the race. 3 to 6 months अच्छे से stagger करो. There is little more pain left, but again no one knows the bottom, so थोड़ा थोड़ा start कर सकते हैं.
Mm-hmm. Great. Again, next important question is mutual fund equity. Which sector? Which like large cap, mid cap, small cap? Where do you think for long term? If somebody wants to invest for very long term, for wealth creation.
So मैं अपने clients को भी यही बोलता हूँ, focus on 4 things. जो
Yeah.
4 pillars. One is know your goal. आपका goal क्या है? आपका टाइम होराइजन क्या है? आपका रिस्क एपेटाइट क्या है? और आपका एसेट एलोकेशन क्या है? सो आपको इसमें ही आंसर मिलेगा कि आपको ज़्यादा लार्ज कैप में जाना है, मिड कैप में जाना है, स्मॉल कैप में जाना है, कि मल्टी कैप करना है. ऑल्सो एज फैक्टर्स ऑल्सो प्ले अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. अगर आप 50 प्लस है, 60 है, तो आपको ज़्यादा रिस्क नहीं लेना चाहिए. मिड कैप, स्मॉल कैप में आपको एडवेंचरस नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर आप यंग हो, इफ़ यू हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड, आप 25 ईयर्स के हो, आपको वेल्थ क्रिएशन का गोल है फॉर द नेक्स्ट 25-30 years, then I think a generous amount of mid cap and small cap can be given in one's portfolio. Also मैं एक और चीज़ बोलना चाहता हूँ कि mid cap and small cap बहुत ही ज़्यादा वॉलेटाइल होते हैं, और इट कैन बी सिक्लिकल एट टाइम्स ऑल्सो. मतलब मिड कैप्स और स्मॉल कैप्स ने 6-6 साल तक, 7-7 साल तक रिटर्न्स नहीं दिए हैं. आई एम टॉकिंग एट द इंडेक्स लेवल, नॉट एट द स्टॉक लेवल. सो अगेन बाइंग एट द राइट टाइम. सिप कर रहे हो तो सिप का कोई टेंशन नहीं है, आप स्मॉल कैप कर रहे हो, मिड कैप कर रहे हो. सो दैट्स हाउ आई वुड लाइक टू पुट इट.
Yes. And again, I think I would like to. Last time we had a discussion in here. One Mr. Gopal Krishna had asked a very important question. अगर आपको small cap करना है, mid cap करना है, तो it's better to go through a fund, right? Mutual fund, than direct equity probably, because the experience of the fund managers while choosing stock, which probably as an investor we don't have that much of bandwidth to collect data and analyze, है ना?
एक्चुअली क्या होता है कि स्मॉल कैप एंड मिड कैप ना कौन सा कंपनी कब उठ जाए, यू नेवर नो. दैट्स हाउ रिस्की इट कैन गेट. तो आप म्यूचुअल फंड रूट करते हो ना, उसमें भी वैसे ही 50 से 100 के बीच में आप अच्छे से डाइवर्सिफाई कर सकते हो. तो कौन सा भी 1 या 2 भी कंपनी उठ गया ना, तो भी इतना कुछ ज्यादा फर्क इन्वेस्टर को नहीं पड़ेगा. That's how I would like to put it.
Good. So Lalit, my again next question is like, what do you prefer? Market is okay, more or less it's a time to buy, start investing, no time to delay. What about index investing? Say Nifty 50, Nifty next 50. Do you recommend? And passive investing, I mean to say, instead of direct.
आपको फिर से if it can inspire someone, right? I have a kid who is 4 years old. On his first birthday, I started a mutual fund SIP for 15 years. Right? First birthday I gave, me and my wife gave a gift, right? कि 15 साल तक SIP हम लोगों ने चालू किया. It's going on last 3 years. So अगर किसी को देखना है कि हाँ लॉन्ग टर्म वेल्थ क्रिएशन और लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट कैसे है, आई थिंक इफ दिस कैन इंस्पायर समवन की अभी इररेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ मार्केट क्या होगा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. मार्केट गिरेगा, मार्केट बढ़ेगा, मार्केट होगा, डाउन होगा, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला, बिकॉज एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम मार्केट इज अ साइकिल. Every industry is a cycle. You can't say market में industry cycle नहीं है. It's just that some cycles are small, some cycles are mid, some cycles are large. बस आपका IT इंडस्ट्री का साइकिल होगा, 5 साल का साइकिल होगा. आपका अगर शुगर ले रहे हो, केमिकल्स ले रहे हो, फर्टिलाइजर ले रहे हो, तो आपका स्मॉल साइकिल होगा, 1 साल का, 2 साल का. अगर आप सीमेंट ले रहे हो, ऑटो ले रहे हो, इट कैन बी अ 2 to 5 year cycle. But every single industry is a cycle. आप उस साइकिल में क्या कर रहे हो, it's up to you, right? So अगर आप निफ्टी ले रहे हो, ETF, go ahead and take it, because Nifty ETF is almost beating 80-90% of the mutual fund managers in India, right? So it can always be part of your portfolio. There's absolutely no denial कि आप निफ्टी मिमिक क्या कर रहा है. निफ्टी मेरे को 13-14% रिटर्न दे रहा है, और एनी पॉइंट ऑफ रोलिंग पीरियड ले लीजिए, 5 साल का ले लीजिए, 7 साल का ले लीजिए, 10 साल का ले लीजिए, विल गिव यू 14-14% रिटर्न, इज जनरेटिंग अल्फा। आपका बैंक एफडी आपको 5% दे रहा है, निफ्टी 13-14%, और क्या चाहिए? If at all you have to beat inflation, this is more than sufficient. Nifty next 50 can also be a better option, because usually you will see जो निफ्टी नेक्स्ट 50 के कंपनीज है, which is 51st company to 100 companies in terms of market cap, usually they come in nifty 50. और जब कब होगा वो, their revenue is significantly higher, their profit is significantly higher, their market cap is coming into a way where nifty 50 के अंदर आ जाता है. So that point of time you can always have another 5% 7% allocation in nifty 50 as well. So I mean, stick with it, be very clear कि आपको क्या करना है, understand yourself, invest for long term, just go ahead 5 7 10 years अगर डाल के रख रहे हो, irrespective of market, आपको वो feeling से चले जाएगा कि market कैसे भी हो. If I am doubling up my investment wherever I feel on mutual funds कि हाँ आज market गिरा, as a thumb rule I have, any month in the past where there is more than 3% correction in Nifty, I double up my investment for SIP for that respective. Just have it as a thumb rule. जिस महीने भी आपको निफ्टी 3% करेक्शन दे रहा है, जिस महीने भी, जस्ट डबल अप योर इन्वेस्टमेंट. जस्ट 10,000 का सिप डाल रहे हो, उस महीने अलोन 20,000 का सिप डालो. Just double up, and you will have a significant beating of returns, which is going to be happening because of this additional investment coming in.
Actually, now mutual funds is the best cost efficient way of creating wealth. आप 100 से 500 रुपए से आप स्टार्ट कर सकते हो म्यूचुअल फंड में. तो आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको 50,000 1 लाख रुपए की जरूरत है टू इन्वेस्ट. इट कैन एक्चुअली, वी कैन really contribute to our economy by investing through mutual funds. अभी इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में पेनिट्रेशन इतना लो है अपने कंट्री में. अगर टायर 2 टायर 3 कहाँ से पैसा आ जाए, 100 500 आपको ज्यादा कुछ करने का जरूरत नहीं है. यू कैन स्टार्ट विद अ नॉमिनल अमाउंट. अच्छे से आप लॉन्ग टर्म रखो, 10 साल 15 साल 20 साल ऐसे पैसा भूल जाओ. आपके रिटायरमेंट के लिए हो, आपको पता नहीं चलेगा कि एंड ऑफ 15 साल 20 साल आपको कितना कंपाउंड करके म्यूचुअल फंड देता है. इज अनइमेजिनेबल. I think mutual fund is the most underrated product, especially in our country. It is very underrated. It's high time that people start looking at it from a long-term perspective and contribute in their wealth creation as well as our countries.
Great. In fact, lots of people are asking stock-specific questions. I think we are, but as you said, like we have already discussed, that we are not going to go stock-specific, but yes, focus on mutual fund, focus on SIP, and this is the right time. If you don't know which stock to invest, take the mutual fund route, as Rishabh says. I think that's a fantastic discussion, both of you. Thank you so much, Lalit and Rushabh. I think the conclusion that comes to here is that it's a good time to invest. India's story is intact. You can fundamentally India is altogether in a different paradigm, and it's going to grow, and everything is good. Except few factors that need to be taken into account. Probably inflation, oil prices. Some things that are interest rate and all these things. But things are not good, not bad. Things are good. All the macroeconomic data is showing good. The results, corporate earnings are not that bad. It's good. So I think nothing to delay. If you are an investor, please go ahead and start investing. That's the message that's coming up. What's it, guys? Right? Give your closing statements, Lalit and Rushabh.
I mean, I will again put in terms of numbers. अब इंडिया को एक स्टॉक की तरह, राइट, हर्षद मेहता स्कैम वी सॉ, यू ऑलवेज सेड दैट आपको खरीदना इंडिया खरीदो, राइट, एंड व्हिच इज ट्रू. यू हैव टुडे एप्पल्स मार्केट कैप व्हिच इज ऑलमोस्ट $2.5-3 trillion, equivalent as India's GDP, a population of 125 crore aspirational Indians. You can't compare it with the market cap of a particular company, right? It's much more. $5 trillion is just a number in my view. It is going to be significantly higher. It took us 5 years to move from 2 trillion to 3 trillion. Probably if not for COVID, we would have
Already achieved
mark for significantly been there. So countries growing to grow leaps and bounds. I keep to interact with a lot of managements, lot of young entrepreneurs. जो energy है, the hard work they are putting in, the smart work which they are putting is
Mhm.
unbeatable. You are going to bet on human, right? And
Mhm.
humans usually don't fail, right? So if you're betting on that, and if you're betting on India, I don't see any other sweet spot globally which is as compelling as India as such, Neeraj. So, I mean, I will leave it with that, saying that, if you're betting on, just bet, go all. Next 10 years के लिए जितना पैसा आप इंडिया मार्केट पे लगा सकते हो म्यूचुअल फंड्स में, completely save it across, and this decade will be our decade.
Wonderful, fantastic. Rushabh, your closing comments.
uh, be cautiously optimistic. uh, Long term India ka growth story is very much intact. I would say opportunity हर साल markets opportunity देता है on an average anywhere between 10 to 20% every year correction हुआ है on an average since the inception of Sensex. So आप कर सकते हैं आपके capacity के हिसाब से, that's great. If you can't, if you don't have cash flow, SIP is great. आपके पास वो भी नहीं है, आपको मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटी देते ही रहेगा ईयर ऑन ईयर. So don't be in a hurry. I am very bullish on, as Lalit correctly said, कि long term 10 साल 15 साल आपके कैपेसिटी के हिसाब से आप पैसा लगाओ इंडिया पे. इंडिया का ग्रोथ स्टोरी इज वेरी बुलिश. एट द सेम टाइम आपका थोड़ा कैपेसिटी रहेगा तो आप यूएस में भी आप थोड़ा इन्वेस्ट करिए, बिकॉज ग्लोबल डाइवर्सिफिकेशन इज ऑल्सो इक्वली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, So all in all, cautiously optimistic is the right way I would like to put.
Wonderful. And thank you so much to Lalit and Rushabh for this fantastic session that we had today. I think our viewers have got benefited really, and they now know what need to be done. And guys, so we are going to do a series of events like that every evening. Tomorrow, in fact, we have got another session, another webinar that is on how to pick your stocks for your portfolio at 7. So please tune in, always log in and check and lots of speakers are going to come again. And our whole objective, our endeavor is to give you best information from the experts in the market who have got so much of experience. And that's what I have to say. And again, thank you, Lalit. Thank you, Rushabh, for
Thanks,
these
Neeraj.
fantastic sessions. It's lovely
Thank you,
talking to
Neeraj.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Neeraj.
Thank you, Neeraj, for having me.